So I think we're going to see that, Terry. And then I think what you're going to see is a lot of the fans that want everything right now. We need it now. We need everything now. We must win. Will not give Postecoglou the time to bed in those unknown players and create a team. And I'll go back to what I said to you earlier in the show. That is when Spurs have been at their best. Spurs historically, when we've paid big, it's not worked. If I think of any big signing we've made, I don't think it's worked. And I'll chuck it out there right now. Ndombele, 4 years of absolutely nothing at 60 million. Richarlison, even go back to Davinson Sanchez, one of our biggest ever signings. Eric Lamela. There's even for me, lots of question marks for me over Romero at the moment. The difficulty is we're not this big club a lot of our fans want us to be, Terry. We're not. And again, it's masking the stadium, the concerts, the boxing has masked over the football club. As a business, it is phenomenal. What Daniel Levy has created, if you were the CEO and Daniel Levy is your MD, I get it why he gets a pay rise every single year because the business he's created is phenomenal. But we're not business fans, Terry. We're football fans. And unfortunately, the football side has been forgotten about. So when you get a lot of fans, and I think they're a lot younger, so I can't be too harsh on them, going, just go and get Casado. Right, yeah, so we're going to try and get Casado when Chelsea and Arsenal are bidding for him. Okay, just go and get Bastoni. Brilliant. Yeah, Bastoni wants to come and join Tottenham Hotspur that don't win any trophies, have sacked Jose, have sacked Conte. Kane might be leaving. I think we need to know where we are in the pecking order. We really, really need to know where we are in the pecking order. And this is going to be painful. Things have to get worse before they get better. I think we're going to win some games playing well. I think we're going to lose some games heavily not playing well. But people need to give this a couple of years so that we can actually build a team that isn't just the Harry Kane and Son team. And we've ignored that, Terry. Sorry for the rant. We've ignored that for a decade since Harry Kane's been here. We've ignored it. Even when we had the team under Poch that everyone loved. Like lots of clubs, lots of fans who even hated Spurs loved watching Spurs under Poch because of the football.
Yeah.
At that time, I was called negative, Terry, because I kept saying to people, yeah, we're second. Yeah, we got to a Champions League final, whatever. But what are we doing underneath that? What's behind that? So when Walker goes, what are we doing? And believe it or not, Walker went. Then it was Dembele, he went. Then Wanyama went. Ericsson, Alderweireld, and there was no plan. There was no route for the kids from the academy. There were no top scouts going to buy like-for-like replacements. There was no plan as to what did Spurs want to be for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And this is where we are now. This is Spurs now. And a lot of fans can't handle it.
Question for you. I've seen a lot of Spurs fans frustrated with the appointment of Postecoglou. I personally think it's got the potential to be a disaster because of his lack of experience. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's a good appointment? Do you feel that how do you see it going?
I do think it's a good appointment. I think that again, and I'll keep bringing it back to this because look, I can see loads of Spurs fans that come into my chat, the same ones that follow me here. If I block them on mine, I can see them in there. They think they're really, they think we're this great big club. But again, people want top managers, but top managers want top players to play with to help them win things. Spurs aren't attractive enough, Terry. If Spurs go into a foot race with Man U, with Man City, with Chelsea, with Liverpool, with Arsenal for X, Y, or Z player, yeah, we can match them for a bid. But then when we go to sit down with that player's going to go, right, okay, Man City over here are offering me, I'm going to play 25 to 30 games a season rotation, but I'm going to win things. I'm playing with Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Rodri. I've got the best coach in world football. They play a wonderful brand. What are you offering? Well, we're in the middle of a build. We're going to start a build. Do you want to come and join us? By the way, we've got no European football. And by the way, we've not won a trophy for 15, 16 years. Wow. There's no pull. There's no attraction. And I've always said it like this, Terry, if you and I walked into a bar and we saw two women there, two beautiful ladies, and we wanted to chat to them, Yeah, and you're sitting there going, yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. I've got my own telecoms company. I've got 5 cars. I've got a swimming pool. I've got no kids. I've got nothing. Blah blah blah. You know, I'm worth this much money. Come and join me. And I'm going, oh yeah, what do I do? Oh, you know, I work part time in my Tesco's. Naturally, who are they going to be gravitated towards? Naturally.
Oh, mate, even without that, we know this.
But yeah, there you go. Well, there you go. But do you see what I'm saying? Look, the point is this: a lot of our fans don't realize there's no pool. They think a stadium is a pool, right? They think that the training ground is an attraction, and these fans haven't worked out yet that Jose in the job. All right, you hire a win now manager. If you don't give Jose the tools he needs, which we can't provide to him, Jose ain't winning. If you don't give Conte the tools that he needs because we can't provide them, Conte's not winning. So to answer your question and go full circle, we need a manager like this, a manager that comes in, doesn't make it all about them, because Jose and Conte, it's the circus, isn't it? Right?
Yes,
we know it's about them. It's them. Every press conference is them, right? We need a manager now that comes in that is a football guy, a real man-to-man football coach, yeah, that has an ethos, has a strategy, and will build. He doesn't have to be here for 10 years, by the way. He can build for the first 2-3 years, get us on a level playing. If he moves on, we've built the foundations to work off. But the problem is the fans want, oh, we want Nagelsmann, right? But he turned us down. Why did Nagelsmann turn us down? Right? He's got bigger fish to fry than Tottenham Hotspur. And people keep saying I only say this so that I can get subscribers and likes. Terry, you've known me long enough to know this is when I'm in WhatsApp groups, I'm saying the exact same thing, right? To every football fan. Like, we need to know where we are in the food chain. We have 7 teams above us at the moment. We have lots of teams that will pay more, lots of teams that can offer more, and we are not very attractive. If people don't believe me, fine. But it's happening right in front of our eyes. So for me, this guy's a very good appointment. And I think given time, he will build a team that's competent, that actually makes Spurs fans want to get back to the stadium and watch Spurs.
I've said it's going to be a disaster, but I'm going to change my stance ever so slightly based on what you've said. Very few people do what you just did, Sav, and you've changed my mind partly. My worries stem from his lack of experience, and I stand by that because, yes, he's managed Celtic, who are a bigger club than Tottenham, but Celtic fans don't have the expectations that match their club's heritage, if that makes sense, anymore, because Scottish football is tin pot. So I worry about his experience. I also get Nuno vibes from the point of view of he wasn't your first, 4th, 5th choice manager. You kind of ended up with him because others have said no.
Hang on, Terry, just quickly on that point. The thing is, a lot of the noises coming out of Tottenham now are that this was our first choice. That they did want him because of our new sporting director, because of our new director that's joining, Scott Munn, who worked for the City Group, right, at the same time as Postecoglou. Apparently, this is the guy that he wanted, and they had to wait until the season finished before they could announce.
Okay,
listen. Apparently, the biggest word in football.
And you know, from my point of view, I'll take that as read and say fair enough. From my point of view, what Spurs should have done then, when they were linked to Nagelsmann and who's the other guy, Enrique and all the others, Daniel Levy could have just come out and said, look, all these media speculations are lies. These are not who we're looking at. We're not going to tell you who we are looking at, but none of this is true. But they didn't. But okay. But
that's not what he does, though, is it? That's not Daniel Levy's style at all.
I do get that. I mean, he doesn't have to do it in them words, but words to the effect. Speak to Matt Law and say, Matt, shut down all these rumors. They didn't do it. But I'll take their word now. My worry is he does have a lack of experience at the highest level of the game. With the eyes that the Premier League have on you, he's never been anywhere near that level.
Sure.
I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability potentially to get to it. What you just said has kind of made me expand on my point somewhat. It's about Spurs fans having patience. It's about him being given time and being backed. If he isn't given the players that suit, if he's given Maguire, but he wants to play his style of football, he's going to be exposed. Because he hasn't got a great CV, fans will turn on him quickly. You've turned on managers who have got great CVs quickly because they didn't play the brand of football you want and weren't getting the results. That, for me, is where I see it potentially going wrong. It's
I
about him
agree.
being backed by your board, and then fans realizing that maybe, just maybe, I know he's 57, he's not a kid, but he's inexperienced in terms of managing at the highest level of the game, and he's going to make mistakes, and it's going to take time. And it's maybe very unlikely year one, you're back in the top 4, back in the top 5, back in the top 6 with what everybody else is doing. And it's just about patience. But I think the one thing that's on his side is you Spurs fans are a bit like magpies at times. If the football's pretty and it looks good, a lot of you are generally quite happy. Does that make sense? It's like we're 8.
Look, I think the key thing is I take that on board in terms of where he's managed, but let's break this down and just devil's advocate, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate. This year, I've seen I saw Eddie Howe was given the whole how's he going to go into how's he going to go into Newcastle and sort this all out? Look at this mess. Eddie Howe now people are talking about should have won manager of the season. Gary O'Neill had never managed before, goes in and everyone's praising him for his work that he's done at Bournemouth. I guarantee if you asked, I don't know how many people watching the show right now, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000?
Nearly 3,000, yeah.
Nearly 3,000. I guarantee 2,800 of these people would never have heard of De Zerbi before he went to Brighton because they don't watch football outside of England, right? And look what De Zerbi's doing. Now De Zerbi's the guy. The thing for me is this. Football's very... it's revisionism for me. Football is... I get the feeling that someone like Postecoglou, listen, by the way, I just want people to know, when I've said I think he'll do well, at no point did anyone hear words pass my lips in terms of win trophies. Right? I never said that, right? I just need that to be really clear. For me, I think that's not what the job is right now. I don't think that's what the job is. We are so far away from trophies. It's scary. Like, it's scary how far away we are for trophies. We couldn't even win trophies when we had that brilliant 11 under Poch, right?
Yeah.
And now we've got a brilliant 1, right? We had a brilliant 11. We've got a brilliant 1. You all know what I'm talking about. It's Harry Kane. So if you look at De Zerbi coming in and doing that, and now he's the flavour of the month. Everyone wants De Zerbi. Yeah. O'Neill did what he did. Arteta had never managed before. And now Arsenal fans are a few painful years, but now Arsenal fans are like, oh my God, this guy's going to replace Pep when he goes from City. And so football for me can throw surprises, but what I've seen of this guy, the more I dig into him, the more Celtic fans I speak to, the more I speak to people in Australia, lots of Australian Spurs fans, they'll tell you about the work he's put in to get to where he is today. How everyone who's played for him loves him, his man management. Yeah. And let's not get confused. I'm sitting here as a Spurs fan saying, if we make European football next season, right? By the way, just for the person in the chat that said, you knew De Zerbi, stop waffling. Yeah, dude, that wasn't pointed at you. You're one person, right? I said, like, there's 3,000 people in here.
I get where you're coming from. I would say the only difference with De Zerbi managed about 120 games for Sassuolo in Serie A. Like, he had experience at the highest level. I didn't know who he was before he came here, by the way, because I don't. Again, I know there's a lot of online content creators that pretend to be connoisseurs of European football and they watch everything and they know everybody. Most of them are full of cap. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see what direction Tottenham go in. Look, and if I don't being wrong, you know me, mate, I'll hold my hands up and say, got that one wrong.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, Terry? I can't sit here with any assurance and say, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't, because like anything at Tottenham, so much of it doesn't depend on Postecoglou. So much of it depends on, are we finally going to let this man bring in the players he wants, right? As I said to you earlier, if Postecoglou goes to the Japanese league and brings in 2 players that no one's ever heard of, will our fans go, I trust this guy, these are the 2 players he wants? Or are they going to go, oh my God, we should have got Casado, we should have got this? Because that's what we need. We need to trust that we are building with what he wants.
Totally agree.